Is it fixed, guys?
Hey guys, can you hear us now?
Thank you
On
for
my own, pretending he is beside me. This is the thing about going live is learning. Can you guys hear us now? Dag Overhaul, Gizmo, David Young, can you
let
hear
us
us?
know.
Yay, they can
Let's
hear
go.
us.
Thank you, guys.
All right. So what's up, explorers? Welcome back to another epic live stream right here on Brent Adventure. If you're hanging out with us in the chat, make sure you like the video, hit the like button.
Yeah.
We're diving into some mind-blowing hidden history, and some of this is like known history, but this is about Shakespeare. So Shakespeare is a historical genius who literally hacked the English language. He invented the rules of pop culture, you could argue.
Yeah.
And it's probably the reason you say your favorite catchphrase like in the mornings. Like I'm talking about the undisputed like goat of literature, which is William Shakespeare. So if you guys are new here, make sure you subscribe. Hey, Damien, how are you? How's it going?
Damien. Hey, Damien.
So this is our first live, like tear come down my eye without Jimmy.
Yeah.
So all morning in my mind all day, I was like, on my own, how much I love that kid.
Yes.
He's such a bundle of joy.
Yeah.
But whether you loved William Shakespeare, hate him, or barely survived reading him in high school, stick around because the secret history behind this guy's legendary masterpieces is going to absolutely blow your mind.
And our minds too, I'm sure.
Yeah, and I think if you're learning English as a second language, this is really relevant to you. And also, John Scott, 100% empty nest syndrome. It's because you focus so much on the child because you know how important like every moment is, the moment to moment.
Yeah.
Like as an adult, you're like, okay, this moment I can forget it. I can be disposable. But as a child, you're like, I know. Every single thing is going to have a huge impact on this kid. So for people who are brand new here, they're referring to my little nephew who I'm helping raise. He's probably eating right now. That's exactly right, David Young, 100% eating. But if you guys are here for Shakespeare, stick around. All right, so Shakespeare was born. Can you guys guess in the chat? This is what's great about lives is that they're very conversational.
Yeah.
So, do you know what siglo, what century he was born in?
15th century.
That's right. Well, 14th? The 16th, but it was the 1500s.
Oh yeah.
Right. So he was born in the 1500s. Shakespeare wasn't just some boring guy writing with a feather pen. But he was like the ultimate entertainer, which is I think is what we learn here. And I was telling Jimmy, do you remember like yesterday I was like, Jimmy, do you understand like what entertainment truly is? It was like the day before yesterday. But Shakespeare was he really understood what it meant to be an entertainer, like a blockbuster movie director of his era. Right? He wrote guess how many plays he wrote? Let's see if people in the chat know.
39.
Not Jimmy. We're talking about Shakespeare now, David Young. So not Jimmy. He was born in the 1500s, but he wrote 37 plays.
Oh, I was close.
And over 150 sonnets. And Shakespeare is such a big deal. I haven't used Claude yet, but I know like one of the settings is sonnet. Like it'll say son and it'll go all the way up to fable.
Yeah.
And so Tove says hi. So ciao can be hello or goodbye in Italian.
Yeah. Hey Tove.
So yes, he was dealing with themes of betrayal, epic battles, ghost, forbidden love, way before the common things like Game of Thrones, all the different things that we watch, or that people watch in general. It's like, what are people watching? That's the big question. What are people actually watching? Stranger Things, Game of Thrones. He didn't just write for the elite. He wrote for the everyday person standing in the mud. At the Globe Theater, he knew exactly how to go viral before the internet was a thing. So he understood like how to really speak to people's souls, which I think is really interesting, and it's so true.
Yeah.
And he had a huge language impact. So, but here's the craziest part. This is why the impact on the English language is truly unmatched. Shakespeare didn't just use words; he invented them. He couldn't find like the right word to describe, let's say, a feeling, maybe even a weapon, or a legendary moment, and so he just made it up.
Well,
so here are some quick examples of words: swagger. He invented the word swagger. Yes.
What should be like the definition? Like
swagger. I have to look at what the official definition is because it's evolved over time, and that's part of the topic of today's live stream.
Right.
And this is why It says Claude's models are named after haiku, sonnet, opus, fable, and mythos. Did you know, Dag, I've not used Claude? Isn't that crazy? I've not used it yet. But I know that there's so much in there. So Dag, let me know what you think about Claude.
Yes.
But I think it's like rooted in storytelling, like haiku, sonnet, opus, fable, mythos. That's all related to storytelling.
Yeah.
Swagger, bandit, the word critic.
Wow.
It says, can we get sound effects off the Elgato Stream Deck since Jimmy isn't here to do it? Aw. It's not in here. It's in the other room.
Yeah, we currently don't have the Elgato here.
Yeah. But David, I do know that there's a lot of power in the sound effects. That's right. Make sure you leave a like. Absolutely. So dauntless, which is a word that they used in Divergent, the word dauntless, the word lonely. He invented the word lonely.
Oh.
Now, you could make an argument. You could say that these words potentially existed, but he was just the first person to write them down, or that it existed in the historical record. But think about it. If he was born in the 1500s and he was writing, in his mid, 30s to it's like, that's not that long ago. So that just shows you that even stuff that soon, a lot of stuff did not survive. But it doesn't stop at single words. If you've ever said like you were in a pickle, that's a Shakespearean expression.
Wow.
Or on a wild goose chase, I should say.
Yeah.
A wild goose chase. For example, my first concert, one of my first concerts I ever went to as an adult was Shakira's Tour de la Mangosta, and it was the mongoose. Is that what it's called, Mangosta?
I'm not sure actually.
But it was called the Mongoose Tour, and but that's where Shakespeare he came out with on a wild goose chase.
Oh, nice.
So not a mongoose, but a goose. And the term heart of gold. Boom, that's 100% Shakespeare.
Wow.
Heart of gold.
Yeah.
So he shaped the exact language we use to communicate, argue, create content today.
Right.
And so by the end of the stream, you're going to see like his level of genius, and he was like kind of like a blueprint. Now there are other historical figures, and I want people in the chat to be like, I'm a history buff and I'm here. The algorithm suggested this to me.
Yeah,
this is why we're doing it live, because I want people to come up. Hey, Mark Sands, what's going on?
Hi, Mark Sands.
I love that little symbol around you. Is that because you're a member? This is how much I rely on Jimmy, because I really am that. Like you have a little symbol. Does that mean you're an adventurer?
I think yeah.
Mark Sands. Does that mean you already have come up?
A membership.
All right, so here's one of the images, the portraits of. Thank you, Mark Sands, for doing that. I think you're the first person, so that's amazing. The first member. So I literally set that up yesterday.
Yeah.
All right, so here is a portrait of William Shakespeare. Now there are several different depictions of him, but there are only like two or three that they say are kind of accurate. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe this is one of them.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah, but there's like the most famous picture of William Shakespeare is actually not even this one. But on this little program I'm using, I only have a certain number of pictures. Yeah. But we're gonna talk about some different characters as well. We're gonna talk about let's see if people who can guess this is.
Yes.
Do you know who this one is? It's not Paxton. It's
Caxton.
Yes. It's
forgot his first name, but it's Caxton.
Yeah, and he was crucial to the English language. Caxton. So Caxton, this is Caxton here. So this is a portrait of Caxton, and we'll talk about Caxton, why he was really big. There's the fair youth, Shirley. That's another William Shakespeare term. I was like, wait, what's he doing? Dag Overhaul's pulling out the Shakespeare on me already.
Let's go.
I love it. Dag Overhaul, very clever man, clever.
That's the fair youth.
Here's another one.
Surely.
You would look smashing in that collar. This collar, I don't know if that's necessarily a Shakespearean term. I would have to look it up, but I will say like that collar, I could go for that. When you make thumbnails, you have the ability to do kind of the sky's the limit. Here's another figure too. So beyond Shakespeare, here's Caxton, and then here's who is this? Do you know who this one is?
Let me see. I have a little bit of.
You guys in the chat, if you like history, if you want to show off how much you know too, or if you're just learning, or if you're learning English and you're looking for a YouTuber who speaks in full sentences, we're a good channel for you. Because so many YouTubers, I do a little research.
Yeah.
a little bit of research, and I'm like, oh my God, these people are not even speaking like anything. Like, la, da, 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 da. So
Right.
a lot of people like to watch because it's good.
Yeah.
It's good content in terms of just being literate,
Yeah.
right? The people want to be
Articulate,
culturally
yeah.
literate, and they also want to be like legitimately literate.
Yeah.
I love that. Texas Ranger fan says, Brent, did you cry when you saw Jimmy go through the airport? Of course I did, Texas Ranger fan. And there's just a lot of drama going on over there as well. So that's part of it. So this is Chaucer.
I actually wasn't sure who this gentleman is.
This one's Chaucer. Chaucer is really big, and he's from the 1300s, and we'll talk about him. And he actually predated Shakespeare.
Yeah.
And here's another image of Chaucer. Chaucer is shown often in this kind of priestly looking attire.
Yeah.
Now, if you guys know any fun facts about the English language, please drop them in the chat. Toph is saying tears of joy. Toph, yeah, I mean, there were some tears of joy because I know he's going to have a good time. And then there's also stuff that just like every kind of parent is concerned about, I would say.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So this is Chaucer.
Chaucer.
All right. And here's another fun image for you guys. Let's see if you guys know what this one is. So true, David Young. So true. Yeah. I've been singing on my own all day in my mind. On my own.
Is this
I'll give you a hint. What are we on? What's behind you?
The world, a globe.
So there's a globe behind Mario. You can't see it in the frame right now, but there's a globe behind him.
Yeah.
So if I cut to his master cam, you can see it. So there's a globe. You can see the globe. There's a coffee cup, and then there's a globe. So that was the Globe Theater. This is the Globe Theater.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, John Scott and me we're vibing. We're on the same wavelength. You're like a history teacher, says Officer Matthews. I think so. I think it's in my DNA to be a history teacher. And I'm constantly looking for ways to teach and learn. Yeah. And one of the best ways to learn is to teach. Have you heard that? Yeah. It's really true.
And it's true, yeah.
Because as you're learning, you're like stumbling upon new things. Brent, don't forget, if you hear a noise in the kitchen at night, it's an intruder. It's not Jimmy. True. That's very true. So if y'all are new to the channel, Jimmy is our little our resident 14-year-old. Here's a modern picture of the Globe Theater. And so this actually it looks like, people are like, who knows if that's AI nowadays? But this is actually, they've maintained the Globe Theater. So the Globe Theater is still intact.
That's stunning, yeah.
Yeah. So this is some fun kind of, not being a geoguesser, but like, okay, let's see if you guys can guess in the chat what this image is of.
Yes.
This is a tail. What kind of tail is this?
Hold on,
there's a helicopter going by the way. I can probably hear it.
Is this the Bible?
Close. It's Canterbury Tales.
Oh, Canterbury Tales.
Canterbury. Okay. Yeah. So Canterbury Tales is from Chaucer. Yeah. So we'll cover that. You guys, if you're just not joining us, let us know where you're watching from. So just for the audience so they know, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of an intro. But we're talking about something that might prove to feel strange, but you're probably already speaking Shakespeare in your everyday life. Yeah.
You may not. The books back then were like all decorated and
like so decorative. It was very, very reminiscent of what you showed yesterday. Yeah. With that Celtic thing that you showed. Yeah. So a lot of people, we still use Shakespeare. So you may not go to the theater. You may not actually read Shakespeare in your day-to-day life. You may have never opened Hamlet since high school, or maybe even in high school, you avoided it then. A lot of people did. Yeah. Even the smart students, a lot of them avoided some of this stuff for some reason or another. You may even think Shakespeare is boring, confusing, or something that people pretend to understand so they can sound educated, which may be true for some people, right? Yeah. We talk about that a lot here, like pseudo-intellectualism or people pretending to know something. But what's the most intellectually honest thing is just the more you learn, the more you realize you know nothing. You
don't know nothing, yeah.
Yeah, you don't. Well, if you remember, you can't use a double negative. So you don't know anything. Yeah. Yeah. But here's a twist. Shakespeare may already be inside your mouth. Dun, dun, dun. not physically, but you know what I mean. Shakespeare is probably already racking around in your brain. You just don't realize it. So when you say something like, again, wild goose chase, or you say someone has a heart of gold, or you say good riddance to somebody, do you know that expression, good riddance?
Yeah.
That's Shakespeare.
Yeah.
When you say, we need to break the ice, that's a Shakespearean phrase.
Nice.
When you complain that something is too much of a good thing, that's a Shakespearean. It's a Shakespeareism, right?
Yeah.
So you're walking through like a linguistic museum without even realizing it. So tonight we're going to ask, did one playwright become part of the operating system of modern English? I think so. But this is not just about Shakespeare worship, because there are people that do that, and I'm not a Shakespeare worshiper, but I recognize greatness when I see it, right?
Yeah.
But we are definitely going deeper than that, because Shakespeare didn't just appear out of nowhere. Before him, there was Chaucer. He helped usher in Middle English and give it a literary voice. The British Library credits Chaucer with setting the style for Middle English literature.
Wow.
So Middle English was before Shakespeare, and Shakespeare, to be clear, Shakespeare is early modern English. Now that might be shocking to some people, because they're probably like, what? Like Shakespeare is modern? It actually is early modern English. And we're going to help break that down. And through the chats, you guys can help give it, weigh in on this stuff.
Yes.
The Globe Theater became theater in the round. That's right. So I've actually been in plays where there's a theater in the round. I did a play when I was a kid. It was called Seven Brides for Seven Brothers. And there was a theater, and it was 360. The people were all the way around us. But yeah, Shakespeare basically started that. This scene, I feel we lose too much of the screen to a black void. Toph, I love this. I love the input. I really love the input. It helps a lot.
It's nice.
I love it.
That you guys also give us your opinion.
Oh my gosh, it's so helpful. You have no idea.
Yeah.
All right. So if you guys are just not joining us, so we're going to cover Chaucer. Here's Chaucer.
Yeah.
We're going to cover Caxton, not to be confused with me, not Paxton, but Caxton. Now there maybe there's some overlap. Someone can probably do a Google search. And obviously here we have Shakespeare. All right, so we're going to talk about Middle English. We're going to talk about modern English, and then early modern English, and we may even talk about Old English for a bit. It just depends on how much you guys want to hear and how much into it you are. Now, do you think people dive this deep into Spanish as they do in English before we do this? Because Mario we're in Mexico City. So if you guys are watching us, we're actually going live from Mexico City.
Yes, I think the Spaniards do, but not necessarily Latin Americans. I mean, obviously they do, like in academies and schools and everything, but like the common person, I would say not.
They're not doing a deep dive. They're not doing a deep dive into the language so that they can understand like how we got here.
Yeah, it's mostly like
Jimmy, wave in the chat if you were here, says David Young.
It's mostly like reserved to the academic sphere.
Yeah. And I think that's what the beauty of platforms like this are that we can break it down so that it becomes more accessible for people.
Yeah.
So, so we're going to talk about William Caxton and the printing press, because he brought the printing press to the island, to England, helping stabilize English through print culture. Caxton's printing work helped standardize English and promote written English at a time when spelling and dialects were still wildly unstable. Speaking of dialects, I'm going to show you real quick on screen. Here's a map of the British dialects. So it's interesting because people think like English is one thing, but the reality is that there's wildly different dialects.
Yeah. And
you hear it when you hear people speak, like celebrities, for example, like Adele speaks different than Kate Winslet.
Yeah.
Right. Someone's like, oh, I saw it, like they're not finishing their words, and then other people are very proper. So does that tickles a lot of people? They kind of love that. They're like, oh, I love the way so and so talks, or I love your accent.
Yeah.
Hey Sultan, how are you?
Hi Sultan.
So good to see you. You guys leave a chat. Also, if you're an expert on this topic, come in, and if there's any key points that you would like to add to the conversation,
please.
We love it.
Yeah,
we love it.
But it's interesting considering like the size of the island as well. Like it's not like big.
It's not ginormous.
Yeah. So the fact that there are many dialects is also interesting. Like
very, very, very interesting. So John Scott says most curriculum only comes Shakespeare works, but just they gloss over his life story. Well, that's another point too, is like, how much do we talk about his actual life story? Now they just had a movie recently come out, Hamnet, which was about the story of Shakespeare's life. And a lot of people feel like that is fictionalized because they say that Shakespeare actually did keep a very divided thing from his personal life, but who knows? But the acting was superb in that. The clips that I've seen. Have you seen it?
No, I missed it. Yeah,
I've seen the clips of the actress. That's what's her name?
Was like it's escaping me, but she was like a revelation almost there.
Yeah, she was William Shakespeare's wife.
Yeah,
and like she has like a miscarriage.
I think it's Anne Hathaway, right? Like her name is like William Shakespeare.
Oh, her real name is Anne Hathaway. I think so.
I
think it's possibly her real name. Y'all can look that up. I didn't do a deep dive into his personal life. It was more about like his impact, which again, it brings up the question, like how much of it do we talk about the artist then like their personal life?
Yeah.
Like, do people care who I'm married to, or do they only care about like what products I'm working on, like what I cast or what I help produce or what I was, worked on? That's a great question.
Right. Hi, Kiss.
Do I recommend that movie? Not necessarily. But I mean, listen, I recommend cinema exploration in all ways.
Yeah.
But William Caxton, he brought the printing press and he helped stabilize English through print culture. So William Caxton is overlooked oftentimes in history, but extremely crucial. And then there was the King James Bible, whose rhythm, phrasing, and moral seriousness shaped the English language speaking culture for centuries to this day. So, in fact, in the United States, people have a preference. Do you like the King James version or the traditional? That's literally one of the main versions.
Yeah. I think
as a child, there was like a constant debate, like which version of the Bible. You guys let us know if you have a Bible. Which version do you have?
Most of the reading of the Bible I've made has been in Spanish. So in Spanish, the version that we use mainly is Reina Valera. But I think, King John is...
James
is like the most popularized one, I think, in the English-speaking world.
I mean, I think it depends on your family's like...
like branch of Christianity too.
Absolutely. So you thought this was the Bible earlier, but this is not. This is the Canterbury Tales.
Nice.
And from Chaucer. But I'm going to replace this picture. I'm going to use my little program here, and I'm going to add a picture of the King James Bible. So they have some visual aids here.
Yeah.
So here's a picture of the Bible. Now, this is one of the earliest versions of the King James version. This is from 1611.
Yeah.
This is the first page edition authorized by the apostles. It shows the apostles Peter. Now, it wasn't approved by them because they weren't around by now. But it shows the apostles Peter, Paul, seated centrally above the central text, flanked by Moses and Aaron. Aaron is a biblical name too, if you didn't know.
Yeah.
He was an Israelite prophet, if you didn't know. So a lot of names were from the Bible, but also, for example, there are two names that are from, like, I think it's Miranda and Jessica were invented by Shakespeare.
Oh, wow.
So a lot of names are actually from Shakespeare.
Wow.
I'm 100% sure Jessica is from Shakespeare.
Which is interesting because it also feels very, very modern. Like those names feel very modern. So let's say. Yeah.
I'm going to pull it. I'm going to double check. I'm going to fact check myself here. Yeah. So Jessica and Miranda and Imogen, they're all from Shakespeare. So that's Jessica first appears in The Merchant of Venice, which we've all heard of, right? Doesn't mean everyone's read it. And then Miranda is from The Tempest, which, if I'm not mistaken, The Tempest was his last work in like 1610 or 1611. And then Imogen is from Cymbeline.
That's so
Imogen. Imogen's a beautiful name.
Yeah.
And he also popularized other names that weren't so popular at the time, like Juliet, Romeo, Ophelia, and Viola. Those names existed, but he helped popularize them. Wow. But he literally invented, as far as the historical record lets us know, the name Jessica, Miranda, and Imogen.
Wow.
Now, Imogene isn't still a popular name, but Jessica and Miranda absolutely are.
Yes.
Especially Jessica.
Mhm.
And like you said, it feels ultra modern.
Yeah, it feels like very, very modern.
Yeah. Yeah, he coined that. There's another name too, but no one really uses it. But it was Perdita. It was from Winter's Tale. And then he really popularized the name Olivia. And Olivia is like in the news recently with Olivia Wilde with her new movie, The Invite. But in Twelfth Night, the roots exist in Latin, but Olivia is highly attributed to being popularized by Shakespeare.
Wow.
So it's pretty wild.
Yeah, I think I've only heard about that one, but not the other ones like Jessica and Miranda.
Yeah,
which is very, very interesting.
Well, and then there are boys' names too, like Romeo, Sebastian, Othello, Hamlet. Yeah. And then Mark Antony was obviously a name from ancient, Greece. Yeah. But he wrote Antony and Cleopatra because he wrote 37 full plays. Yeah. And Horatio was a name that was in you hear it in Spanish a lot. Yeah. I feel like it's not as common as it used to be. What's the most common name you'd think in Spanish? I know for women it's like Maria still to this day.
Probably Juan.
Juan, yeah, which is John.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then there was Samuel Johnson. And Samuel Johnson, he was the first one to have a standardized dictionary. And it wasn't that long ago. It was 1755. So the 1755 dictionary became one of the most famous and influential books in the history of English. So let's see if people in the chat knew that. I bet a lot of people did not. And when I was doing my research for this, I learned a lot personally. Yeah. So it's not like I knew all this stuff out the gate.
Right. Yeah, Gizmo Jose is also a pretty popular name here. But yeah, I'm learning a lot too. So let us know, guys, if you're learning all this stuff along with us.
So the 1755 dictionary, it was published on April 15th, 1755. It was a dictionary of the English language by Dr. Samuel Johnson. It's one of the most famous dictionaries in history, compiled almost single-handedly over 9 years by him. Wow. It contained 42,773 words and was the standard English reference for over 100 years. So no one really bothered after Samuel Johnson. And I'll pull up a picture of this for you guys.
Yes.
For over 100 years. But Samuel Johnson, and also that's like the most common name too. If you had to ask, like, what's the most common sounding last name? You'd say, I don't know, Johnson. Well, you wouldn't be wrong.
Right.
Because it's the surname, like son of John, right?
Yeah.
So I'll pull this up here. Here we go. So here's the earliest English dictionary, and this is from 1755. You might think that there'd be an earlier version, but there's not. Yeah, it's hard to believe that one person wrote the entire dictionary back then. Yeah, Gizmo. It's possible that it's kind of like Hans Zimmer. People think Hans Zimmer like does all of this stuff, but if you ever worked on a movie, you realize Hans Zimmer has tons of people working with him, but he's the one who gets the credit for it. But he has 35 composers that work under him.
And I mean, yeah.
So it wouldn't surprise me if he had some assistants, right?
Right, and I mean, as you said, it took him 9 years. So it's like a diligent task to make the whole dictionary.
John is hilarious. John in the chat is saying the kid is not my son. He's quoting Michael Jackson. The kid is not my son, because we said Johnson. So very playful there. I love it. That's funny. Okay. So now you know Samuel Johnson. If you didn't know, he had the first dictionary in 1755. So tonight it's not just about Shakespeare, but it's about how English became English. It's about theater, religion, paintings, dictionaries, poetry, empire, class, education, comedy. Yeah. Shakespeare was huge on insults too. We're going to talk about that.
I think I've heard that.
And the strange fact that words can survive long after the word that created them disappears.
Yeah.
The worlds that created them. So Mario is here because I need a normal person to react. And so your job tonight is going to be, I'm going to show you some phrases, some weird old words, some insults, paintings, books, covers, portraits, scenes from Shakespeare's plays. Yeah. And you have to guess what they mean, where they come from, and whether we still need them today. Thank you, Mark Sands.
Thank you, Mark Sands.
I didn't even set a goal. I've got to set a goal. If you're interested and new to the Fulgerson, clear translating and footnotes make all the difference. Love me some Shakespeare. If you're interested and new to him, buy the Folger's editions. Okay, good to know. Mark Sands is very helpful.
Thank you, Mark.
Buy the Folger's edition. At first, I read in my, is it Folgers? Is that how you say it? Folgers?
Folgers.
Like the coffee Folgers?
But it's right that editions can make a huge difference on how you approach.
So real.
Yeah.
Because it can make you kind of hate something or love something depending on the way the information is presented to you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Or if it's too much to even digest. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Mark Sands, for that so much.
Thank you, Mark Sands. Yes. You can also super chat in this channel now, guys. So
you can. Is it raining outside?
Yes, it started.
I'm hearing. I'm like, am I hearing rain or am I having? You know,
it's raining.
I'm like, I'm looking for a Shakespearean phrase to come up with what I'm kind of going through.
But yeah, I'm down to it because, as you mentioned, this is my second language, so I'm gonna learn a lot from the origins of English.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Thank you again, Mark Sands. Yes, you can. I will check that out. The
Folgers edition.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think Brent will return to Texas in a few days. Brent, I think you will return to Texas. Sultan, I knew someone was going to say that. And they were like, Brent's going to crack and he's going to be like, I need to go take care of Jimmy. Hey, listen, it's everything's possible. You never know. So first of all, let's cover like what is English? Okay, so what is English? So English is an Indo-European language, and it evolved through three main stages over 1,500 years, which if you think about it is not that long.
Right.
It started as a Germanic dialect and transformed through invasions, conquest, and global trade. So Old English is from 450 to 110 AD.
Okay.
So English was already, like, this is after Christ. So English is new. So the migration of the Angles, Saxons, and the Jutes from modern day Germany and Denmark to Britain is the Germanic roots of English, and that's how it started. And then there were the Norse invasions. They added everyday words like sky, the word leg, take, and the word get. Those are all Viking words. And then that Gothic sound, it sounded closer to modern German than modern English, and Old English. So I'll pull up some images to help us out with that. But there's typically, from the historical record, we have Old English, we have Middle English, and then we have Modern English. And Modern English officially kicked off in 1500. So essentially Shakespeare, and that's why Shakespeare is so key.
Right.
And I have some images here that kind of have some. Now, there's some Old English. It's like how far back do you want to go? So this is like, so the 1600s and on. It's like you're doing all right. They used to say, but we used to say, "Shall I compare thee to a summer's day?" Then there's it's getting dicier here. It's like on the top, it's not the actual phrase. It's like saying like you're okay. It's getting dicey.
Like your level of
So like it's this obviously like a millennial wrote this because we say you're toast and now they say you're cooked. Right. So it's like one that April with his suit. So it's like already it's becoming unintelligible. Just going back to the 1400s, 1500s.
Right.
And then so this is it's like hot we gardena and gardena. It's like unintelligible if you don't speak German or if you have not studied at length Old English. So it's showing how far back you go, and it's like, okay, you really don't even know what it is that you're looking at here. And at the end, it's like, shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Now, maybe this is a hard example. You're right, Gizmo. It looks more like German than English, and it's because it is. It's because it's a Germanic language. But that's an example of how hard it gets when you're looking at this stuff. Now, here's another example of Old English versus Modern English. Like house, it looked like this: hus, child, wife, king, sun, moon. So again, it's an Indo-European language. But Old English, it's also called Anglo-Saxon. So that's so the official name of Old English is Anglo-Saxon. It's the earliest recorded stage of the English language spoken in Britain from the mid-5th century to the 12th century. Brought by Germanic tribes. It was highly inflected language that resembled modern German more than it does modern English. So if you heard it, it would sound more like German, like the, the way it was spoken. And I'll pull up some pictures here so we have some visual cues. Whenever you see like Anglo-Saxon stuff, you typically see that mask, that famous mask, which I'm going to pull up for everybody.
Yeah.
That rain is really coming down.
Yes, it was sudden, like a bit sudden.
Yeah. That's wild.
Major shift away from Germanic. I mean, there are some traces that
this is like an Anglo-Saxon mask
language that you can still find.
So this is like a mask. Whenever you hear Anglo-Saxon, this is like some of the imagery that comes to mind.
Wow.
When people think of Anglo-Saxon.
That's very beautiful.
And like if you look here, it shows in the red here, you've got your Central German, West Germanic, and French areas. And then the blue is the Eastern and Southern West German. And then English is in this little yellow zone here.
Well, yeah.
And so English, it came from the mainland.
Yeah. Yeah.
So people, tend to forget that. So this is like a little bit of a breakdown here. Let's see if I can close this. There you go. This is a Crimean Gothic done here, which had was still considered East Germanic, if you can believe it. Here's the continental West Germanic, and then you got your old Norse, your old West Norse. But all this affected English, and that's why people like Dag Overhaul, it's like they have such a huge. But partially why there's such a huge familiarity with English, because it's so inextricably tied, whether it's on a conscious level or not, to these regions that are around it. This is Alfred the Great. This is a statue in Winchester, Hampshire, from the 9th century. So he proposed that the primary education be taught in English. So he was a big deal. Alfred the Great.
Alfred the Great. Okay. Okay.
So, and it's at the bottom of the screen. So he was wishing to advance the Holy Order to continue their studies, and he proposed that primary education be taught in English, but the majority of people wanted it to be taught in Latin, because Latin was still like the fancy language, along with French as well. And then here are the dialects of Old English. So you have this
English also
Northumbrian, Mercian, and West Saxon, and Kentish.
English also took a lot from Latin, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And here's one of the earliest alphabets. This is the runic alphabet. So this was used to write Old English. Well, and this before the Latin alphabet was fully adopted. So this is why it's a Germanic language as well, because these are runes, right? So the runic alphabet, you see this a lot in like Norse mythology, things like God of War. They use it in games, but it's the runes go back to this whole the early Germanic peoples. So people don't realize English is a Germanic language, but we later did adopt the Latin alphabet. But we used runes way back in the day, which is pretty cool, pretty fascinating stuff. I bet the Pope wasn't crazy about dropping Latin. Absolutely not. And I think there's something about English culture too that's like very individualistic. But I think that can come at a cost too, because we're seeing like right now all these different people are like resigning. Like today, somebody resigned from Parliament. So there's just a lot of crazy stuff going on because there's something very independent about England. But going back to Shakespeare didn't invent English, but he did. He caught English at the right moment, and he was so prolific that he created so many different works of art and plays that it kind of feels like he invented modern English, when maybe it was just the perfect timing. Like it was just like English was it was molten. It was like this we had this ability to shape it
of every cultural aspect.
Right. And a lot of historians say the term like Chaucer walked so that Shakespeare could run. Have you heard that? Like, have you heard these terms like so-and-so could walk so that so-and-so could run?
Yeah.
And it's very real. So the British Library credits Geoffrey Chaucer, who's the author of the Canterbury Tales. And again, this is Chaucer here. And there's probably a little bit of a delay for Mario, what you can see.
Yeah.
And then Chaucer wrote the Canterbury Tales. Setting the style for Middle English. So moving into Middle English.
Yes.
And that's a common example. Like I have my example. It's what what did April with his shoulder suit? It's like it sounds like drunk English, but it's this is literally how people spoke.
Yeah.
So here's an example of Middle English, and this goes back to my example that I have. That kind of seems like it's like a joke, but it's not. It's very real.
One that up April with his.
But it's like, shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Now, I don't know why anybody would actually ever say that, but that was part of, it's kind of like in Spanish, they have like, ¿qué tal? Or ¿cómo vas? You know, it's like they have certain things that are like, or like vaya con Dios, like go with God.
Yeah.
Right. So things are compared to, especially if you had really harsh winters and things like that. You would compare things to like an April or a summer day.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so it's very interesting. But, you know, Old English and Middle English doesn't really sound very familiar. But as we move closer to modern English, it sounds like, okay, this is how we're talking today. But Chaucer matters because he helped establish English as the language, not just a spoken vernacular, but it was like a literary language. I mean, like a written language.
Yeah.
And then we're going to talk about Caxton and the printing press. As language became more powerful, it becomes printable, repeatable, and standardized. So William Caxton, who I've got right here. So William Caxton, he introduced the printing to England in the late 15th century, and his work helped promote written English and standardize the language through print culture. So before print, the language was just local. But then after print, language started to become a national part of the national identity.
Yeah, even to this day. Yeah.
So Caxton is basically the guy who made English stop being like chaos. Because before Caxton, English was a bit chaotic. It wasn't written down and widely dispersed.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably because of the oral tradition and like the fact that they didn't like fully grab their stories or their things in general.
Yeah, and he set up his operation in Westminster, and he printed over 100 books, including Chaucer's Canterbury Tales.
Nice.
But by mass producing literature, Caxton helped standardize the English language.
Yeah,
he made books more accessible to the general public, and he lived from 1422 to 1491.
Yeah.
He was an English merchant, diplomat, and writer while working in Bruges, which is modern day Belgium. It's like that movie In Bruges. It looks like In Bruges, but it's in Bruges. It's that movie with, but it's part of Belgium. But basically, there's a movie about these two British guys who they're actually from London, and they're like doing some criminal activity in the movie. But it's called In Bruges. But anyway, that's where William Caxton is actually from. But that's where he was working. He learned the art of printing, a revolutionary technology pioneered by Johann Gutenberg, because we know the Gutenberg Bible, right?
Yeah.
Decades earlier in 1473, Caxton printed his translation of Troy, which became the first book ever printed in English. Which is, again, this is why people are so up in arms about like the Odyssey, is because, again, it goes back to the very first thing that was ever printed in English. So I'll put this up here. So the histories of Troy.
The printing process was so important. Sharing knowledge and stories verbatim is key. You're right, Mark Sense. Yeah.
Yeah. And then in late 1476, Caxton returned to England after working in Belgium and set up his printing press at Westminster Abbey, operating out of the premise of known as the Red Pale. So this move allowed him to cater to the royal court, government officials, and the wealthy patrons, which makes sense because it's like you can make stuff that's maybe, the equivalent of what we might call propaganda today.
Yeah.
By creating printed works. And then he did the Canterbury Tales. That was one of the most famous ones that he did. And then also Le Mort d'Arthur, which is the death of Arthur.
Well, yeah.
So which is like King Arthur.
Nice.
Yeah. And before the printing press, English varied wildly by region, which we have here. It varied so wildly. And so by he kept printing and reprinting books, and he helped standardize English by that process.
Yeah.
So by printing hundreds of copies of books, Caxton helped homogenize regional dialects and popularize the Chancery standard based on the London dialect. So that was the one that they picked, was like the London dialect. That was like the main one. And this standardization process played a critical role in shaping modern English language. So it's very interesting.
Yeah.
And there are whole like documentaries that try to break this down. Okay. All right. Now we're going to move into Shakespeare, our core idea here.
Okay.
All right. So Shakespeare arrives when English is exploding with possibility. So we have the London theater culture. Queen Elizabeth I is in power. We're having our first like public theater audiences that are regularly going to the theater. There are finally like grammar schools that are teaching.
Wow.
There's still Latin rhetoric going on. But Shakespeare's schooling likely included Latin authors such as Terence, Virgil, and Horace. And Shakespeare's birthplace, Truss notes the influence of classical writers, especially Ovid, in his poems. Have you heard of Ovid? Have you heard of this?
Barely.
Here, I can pull this up.
Yeah.
But this is like a bit of a rabbit hole. So we're going to stick to Shakespeare, but I'm going to bring up some other things. But Ovid, he was a Roman poet who lived during the reign of Augustus, alongside Virgil and Horace. But he's ranked as one of the three canonical poets of Latin literature. So born in 43 BCE.
Wow.
So Virgil, Horace, and Ovid are the main guys who were the Latin poets, you could say.
Wow.
Here, and I'll pull this up on screen so you guys can see this, because this is kind of an interesting live exploration as well.
Yeah.
So Ovid, highly influential Roman poet who lived during the reign of Augustus, and he was alongside Virgil and Horace, and he is one of the three canonical poets of Latin literature. So his works heavily influenced Shakespeare, is the point. The reason why we're bringing them up. So he did Metamorphosis, 15-book narrative poem. It weaves together 250 classical myths themed around physical transformations. Then The Art of Love, a witty instructional book of poetry. Loves and Heroines. He did Fasti, a poetic exploration of the Roman calendar. And he was mysteriously exiled near the end of his life. But he heavily influenced Dante Alighieri, who we know for the Inferno and the metaphor, and mainly Inferno, Geoffrey Chaucer, and William Shakespeare. So people don't realize how at the end of the Roman Empire, like this is the rise of these different unique languages of things like English. So it's pretty wild.
Yeah, like the origin of the language as well is a fascinating topic.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. But those are the main people who really highly influenced Shakespeare and pretty much everyone of his stature at that time. Now, why Shakespeare became so prolific, people are asked themselves that question. And there's obviously a lot of debate as to whether Shakespeare actually created all of this work. Like, was it really him, or was he just attributed for all that stuff?
Yeah.
And so Shakespeare wasn't like remixing the past, but he was, because there's a difference between remixing and degrading.
Yeah.
But Shakespeare did borrow a lot of the old plots and made them psychologically deeper, like funnier, more musical, and like much more human to what was then a modern audience. And so we're gonna showcase some of the famous words. If you guys have a famous Shakespearean play or your favorite Shakespearean play, drop it in the chat. I'd be curious to know.
There is no guess.
Mario, what is your favorite Shakespearean play?
I've read a couple. Now that I know there are 37, I realized that I haven't.
You're like, dang, it's not just Romeo and Juliet.
I actually haven't even read Romeo and Juliet, but I liked Midsummer Night's Dream.
That's a good one.
I enjoyed that one, and Hamlet, obviously.
Yeah, he has tragedies, he has comedies, he has histories, he has romances.
Yeah.
The romances are typically like problem plays, and they have like tragic themes. But the tragedies are like Hamlet, Macbeth, Romeo and Juliet, Othello. The comedies are because a lot of people, they've done polling, and they say A Midsummer Night's Dream is like his most famous play. And I think it's because it feels very unique, but it's actually based off of Ovid's myths.
Mm-hmm.
That's why Ovid is relevant.
Yeah.
But the comedies are A Midsummer Night's Dream,
Mm-hmm.
Much Ado About Nothing,
Mm-hmm.
Twelfth Night. And then there are histories. He did Henry V, Richard III. And then there's one of his less known play. I saw it earlier, but it's called like Richard Moore. You guys can let me know.
Mm-hmm.
But Ovid was a huge influence on him. But reading them can be very, very difficult, especially if English is not your first language. Even if English is your first language, it's difficult because it's not written in modern English. It's an early modern English.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Or what some people might say is like on the verge of late Middle English.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So some people use the word like he invented English, but in reality he popularized it, or he was the first recorded person. So Shakespeare is widely credited with introducing or inventing more than 1,700 words. But serious language discussion should really clarify that the earliest surviving written use does not always prove he personally created the words himself. It's just that's like the first record. So let's play a game of Shakespeare or Fakespeare. Okay.
I love it.
All right. So we're gonna play Shakespeare or Fakespeare.
Chat, play along with us.
So I'm gonna say a word, and y'all say like true or false.
Okay.
So I'm gonna mention a word, and y'all are gonna say like Shakespeare or Fakespeare. So you can just say true or false.
Yeah.
This is wild. The weather outside.
Yeah, guys. You can hear the thunder and the rain. It's been raining like pretty much every day.
We're definitely like deep in the raining season. So for those who don't know, tell us real quick, what is the raining season in Mexico City?
It starts in like late June and it goes up until September. Yeah. Here in Mexico.
Okay. All right. So we're going to start with the first word, lonely.
Shakespeare.
Yeah. Lonely is 100% a real word. Lonely is a real word. And it's a word that it's credited for being created by Shakespeare.
Right.
So lonely. So Mark Sand says true.
You got it, Mark.
You got it. So I'm going to give a little bit of a time for the delay.
Yeah. But you got it, Mark Sand. Yeah.
All right.
You know that word is also like very, very used, right? Like nowadays and everything.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, with the common like isolation of everything that's going on. Yeah. All right. Dragon.
False. Fakespeare.
Fakespeare?
I would say.
Yeah. Dragon was already existed.
Yeah, it sounds, I mean,
it sounds too prehistoric, doesn't it?
Yeah, like it's because every culture, right, like has a record of having like their own dragon.
Right.
So that's what I was like, well, this may not be precisely Shakespearean.
Right.
But John Scott got it and Mark Sense got it.
All right.
So very good.
The word eyeball. The word eyeball.
False.
Shakespeare or Fakespeare?
Fakespeare, I would say.
The word eyeball is Shakespeare. It was the first time that in the historical record that they put those words together.
Oh, wow.
So eyeball is Shakespeare.
Wow.
You can believe it.
It sounded to me like a medical term. So maybe, they probably have used it before, but wow. Yeah.
Yeah, but eyeball that's Shakespeare. Y'all can go fact check me on that too.
Nice.
All right. Ghost. The word ghost.
Shakespeare
or Fakespeare?
I would say Shakespeare.
Brent, I need out of Texas soon, since Texas will be another LA with who's coming into office. Oh my gosh, I haven't even noticed Texas Rangers fan. Don't even tell me, but that's wild. Mark Sen says boo, like a ghost. So it's not Shakespeare, although Shakespeare did famously use lots of ghosts in his stories.
Yeah, wow.
But Shakespeare is not the inventor of the word ghost.
Wow.
Okay, what about dagger? The word dagger. Dagger, is that Shakespeare or Fakespeare?
Dagger Overhaul, do you know this one?
Yeah, Dag Overhaul, are you here?
Shakespeare.
So it's Fakespeare.
Wow.
Dagger already existed. Okay.
Nice.
So next one is Shakespeare. Like Britney Spears. Spear.
Dagger overhaul, yes.
All right. So the word assassination.
Shakespeare.
That's actually Shakespeare.
Oh, wow. I'm not good at this game, apparently.
No, it's okay. It's really designed to be difficult.
No, yeah, but it's interesting because you wouldn't imagine, right? Like this, necessarily all these words are...
Yeah, like the one guy canonized these words, like made them famous.
Right.
All right. Wizard.
Shakespeare.
Wizard. Shakespeare.
Yes.
Yeah, he did not invent the word. Yeah, a wizard. What about the word bedazzled?
I want to say Shakespeare. But probably Shakespeare if it's
Shakespeare.
Wow.
He came out with the word bedazzled. That's like uniquely him.
That's very...
And it was like when your eyes can't see quite clearly because of the sun.
That's very modern sounding to me.
Well, it's also a great movie. Bedazzled is a Shakespearean word.
Wow.
Bedazzled. Yeah. All right. What about the word fashionable? Fashionable.
Shakespeare, I would say. Maybe.
Fashionable is 100% Shakespeare.
Wow.
Fashionable is a Shakespearean word. What about throne? Did he invent the word throne?
No.
And when I say invent, I mean like popularized, canonized.
I don't think so. Shakespeare.
Yeah, throne that's Shakespeare.
Let's go.
Okay, what about the word cold-blooded? Like so-and-so is a cold-blooded killer.
I would say Shakespeare.
That's 100% Shakespeare.
Wow.
He did a really good job of attaching like adjectives with past participles, like cold-hearted or like cold-blooded, things like that.
Yeah.
All right. What about the word gloomy?
Shakespeare.
Ding, 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 ding.
That has to be Shakespeare.
It's gloomy is a Shakespearean word.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
What about the word laughable?
Shakespeare also?
It's Shakespeare.
Yes. Wow.
So he had a real gift for turning words into adjectives.
Adjectives, yeah.
Yeah, like he turned verbs and then he turned some verbs into adjectives and vice versa. All right. What about manager? The word manager.
Shakespeare.
He invented the word manager.
Wow.
Yeah, manager.
Manager, nice.
Yep.
Wow. Also another word that feels very modern.
Another word is zany. Like a person who is like offbeat or a little bit off or bizarre, like has a unique way of thinking or behaving. There is zany. Is that a word that existed before or after Shakespeare? Have you heard the word zany?
No, actually no.
So it's a real word. We still use it.
Well,
so the question is,
Shakespeare.
It's Shakespeare.
Well, yeah.
It's Shakespeare. Zany.
Zany.
Like a zany person. Z-A-N-Y.
C-A-N. Oh, okay. Yeah.
All right. Eventful. Eventful.
Shakespeare. True.
It's Shakespeare. Yeah. A lot of words that end with able or full or able or Asian are Shakespeare.
Oh wow.
So he came up with eventful. What about uncomfortable?
Shakespeare.
That's Shakespeare too. Can you believe that? That's Shakespeare.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I can believe it, but it's wow.
Yeah, but I have some lists on here. I have some words on here I didn't use, like royal. That like he didn't come up with that word, even though you might associate with a lot of his work.
Yeah. Or
the word theater itself, or the word villain. No, but he came up with the word dishearten, like disheartening.
Dishearten. To
dishearten.
Yeah.
Or uncomfortable. Wow. Or eventful. That's all Shakespeare. Zany, marketable is a Shakespeare word. Like laughable. So making something like a bull, that was his thing.
Wow.
So it's pretty cool. All right. And for 10 points, we're not counting, but name three Shakespearean plays.
Hamlet.
Okay.
Romeo and Juliet. Othello.
Okay.
Those are the three that came to my mind right away. But obviously, Midsummer Night's Dream.
Yes. Hi, Apicultura. Hey, Christian. How are you?
Hey, Christian.
All right. I'm going to rapid fire. That's you got it. You passed the test. I'm going to rapid fire give you guys some words that are 100% Shakespeare.
Yeah.
So lonely, swagger, eyeball, fashionable, assassination, bedazzled, uncomfortable, majestic, obscene, critic, addiction, cold-blooded, disheartened, generous, gloomy, laughable, manager, marketable, zany. Those are all Shakespearean words. Like he came up with all those words in his works.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And there's like a unique play that it's tied to if he didn't use it, more later on. Lonely, it appeared in a play called Coriolanus. So it's a great word because it feels very modern.
Hey, Michael, thank you.
Hey, Michael, how's it going? Thank you so much.
Thank you, Michael.
I didn't even set a goal. But we're playing Shakespeare or Fakespeare. Like, are these words truly from Shakespeare, or are they? Am I making them up?
But thank you, Michael.
Thank you, Michael McSilvers. Thank you. Thank you so much for supporting the channel.
Yeah, thank you. As you can see, now this channel is monetized, Michael. So thank you.
Yes, this is day 2 of the channel being monetized. So it's awesome. Okay, all right. So we covered the last thing we covered was. We covered the King James Bible. But here's the thing that the King James Bible did. So after Shakespeare helped make these phrases, I'll give you some phrases first of all. So because this is just before the King James Bible, but we covered this a little bit earlier. But break the ice like a wild goose chase. Do you know what a wild goose chase is?
No, not really.
So if you tell someone like, oh, we can't do that, so and so, that's a wild goose chase. What that means is it's a fruitless endeavor. It won't actually turn into results.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a wild goose chase. It's not a worthwhile endeavor. Then there's the term good riddance. Have you heard that?
Yes, it's like good. It's a way to say goodbye, right?
Yeah, it can also be used as a joke too, like good riddance, like don't let the door hit you on the way out type of thing.
Okay.
Yeah. So it can be used, and it's almost always nowadays used in a ironically. Exactly.
Wow.
Like in a way to ridicule the other person.
I actually didn't know about that. Meaning,
good riddance. Like I've never used that in my entire life. Good riddance, because it's it just seems like cruel. But then the term heart of gold. Have you heard of that?
No. No.
So a heart of gold.
But I guess it means, if I had to guess, I would say it's like too good for.
Well, it's like whenever they did the play or the movie, Pretty Woman. Like one of the premises is that she's a hooker with a heart of gold.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Mark Stans has another one. Thou dost protest too much. So that's let's say that I say you're a thief, and you're constantly saying no, I'm not, and instead of just saying no, I'm not, and letting it lie, but you keep pushing the point. That was a phrase in Shakespeare's plays, thou doth protest too much. It means you're protesting so much to the point where it sounds like you're guilty.
Oh well, yeah.
So it's you're protesting so much.
We
use it a lot. It's still common.
Those are the words that confuse me quite a lot about all the English thou.
Thou is you.
Thy. That they use in the Bible, right? Thy.
Yes.
Though. Those confuse me still.
Yeah. Well, then they're difficult in every language because there's Old Spanish as well.
Right.
Thy, thou shalt, inherit the kingdom of heaven, etc. All right, the term in a pickle.
Okay.
In a pickle is a Shakespearean term.
What does it mean?
So we still use it today, but in a pickle, it means you're in a situation. It's you're in between a rock and a hard place.
Oh, okay.
It's hey, can you help me? I'm in a bit of a pickle.
Oh, okay.
Meaning I'm in a situation where I don't know how to solve my way out of it. So it's a predicament.
Wow.
It's a difficult predicament.
Okay.
So I'm in a pickle. And then he invented too much of a good thing. Have you ever heard that?
Yes.
You can't have too much of a good thing.
Yeah.
And so I think he was referring to a particular thing. And then he came up with the expression, the game is afoot. The game is afoot.
I actually haven't heard that one.
I think it means like the game is like en marcha. Like it's like it's going.
En pie.
En pie, exactly.
Okay. I mean, that's interesting because it's also like very directly translated, I guess.
Yeah, in English and Spanish, and that's its own thing. But here we have like the expression of the game is afoot. So the game is afoot means a challenge, investigation, or pursuit has officially begun.
Oh, nice.
So people could typically use it to signal that a new, exciting, or complex situation is now in motion, and that action is required. But it appears right here in King Henry the Sixth, and Henry the Fifth, and then Sherlock Holmes later used it. But historically, it means like a game is like a let's pull this up.
Yeah. So Michael said, it was 78 when I got on the plane. I got off the plane here and I died. This is me, a roasted zombie. Hello, Michael McSilver as well.
Michael McSilver, I'm like, listen, this is how you got to survive in here. Yeah. I know the feeling. It's like, hopefully you will Michael, I know the feeling traveling around and just feeling like you're just zonked. Zombified 100%. Thank you for being a member, Michael McSilvers.
Oh, thank you, Michael. Yeah.
So thou doth protest too much. It's a famous Shakespearean phrase used to suggest that someone denies or defends something with excessive emotion. They are likely overcompensating because the opposite is true. So this is from Hamlet. So the lady doth protest too much, methinks. That's another thing, methinks. It's spoken by Queen Gertrude as she watches a play within a play where a character vows never to remarry. So it can come across as like insincere. So if you're protesting too much, it's like, you guilty. Like, you guilty. Why are you trying to protest too much? It's like you're overcompensating because you're guilty. Oh, wow. It's like, you guilty, boo. Yeah, like John Scott is saying, it's a thank you, Michael McSilvers. He says membership was Brent and Team Mario. I'm so happy. I appreciate you guys so much, especially as like the marketplace is shifting so much and we're having to figure it out.
Thank you, Michael.
So thank you so much. Okay.
Bye, Christian.
Christian, ciao bella.
Ciao, Christian.
All right, so the game is afoot. So now you've learned a new expression. Yeah. It's not used that much, but we do use thou protest too much, especially people who are like a higher tier of education.
Okay.
All right. Also, have you heard the expression "all that glitters is not gold"?
Oh yeah.
That's from Shakespeare.
Wow. I've heard it in Spanish, honestly, but
de todo lo que brilla no es oro. Yeah.
Wow. I like that one. That's quite a use. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really good one. So it's from The Merchant of Venice. So it's from The Merchant of Venice. I pulled it up here. In the play, a suitor opens a golden casket and finds a scroll featuring the exact line written originally as "all that glitters is not gold." However, the idea itself is an ancient proverb that predates Shakespeare by centuries. But he's the one who put it into English.
Oh, wow.
It can be traced back to the 12th century, including a version by the medieval poet Geoffrey Chaucer, who wrote, "Height is not all gold that glareth." So again, there's that Middle English from Chaucer in the 14th century.
Nice.
So again, it's interesting because Shakespeare, a lot of his stuff is... everything is at this point has going to be some level of being derivative, but it's still highly original in the way he made it very flowery. And even the term flowery is a Shakespearean thing, like flowery language. Well, the term of something being flowery, it means like having lots of adjectives, being very playful. And then he also he made the term "wear your heart on your sleeve." So it's like, it's like you could say, "Oh, Brent's so sensitive." Oh, he's not really all that sensitive. He just wears his heart on his sleeve. So it means like he doesn't hide his emotions. He just lets it hang out there.
I like that one too. It's also new to me.
Yeah. So you could say like a goose chase. You could say, Mar, I need something to cover up those weird windows that the other at the house and da 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 da. And maybe it's so specific. And I'm like, you know what? Never mind. I'm not going to send you on a wild goose chase.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's how you would use a wild goose chase, because a wild goose chase is like a fool's errand. And that's another expression of fool's errand. Like as something that's like you're never going to truly accomplish.
Yeah. That one I've heard. Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the King James Bible.
Yes.
And how Shakespeare. So he shaped theater, and then King James Bible, it shaped sacred and public English. So you guys let me know if you have a King James Bible in your house, because I'd be curious to know.
Yeah.
So here are some phrases: the powers that be. So we still use that to this day. For example, you could say, that's not my choice. It's the powers that be. It's the powers that be. So let's see what the Spanish equivalent is of that. I'd be curious to know.
Yeah.
But these are things that the King James, todos los que tienen el poder. So it's as easy as that. Those that have power, but the powers that be. So the powers that be will decide. It's kind of like the fates will decide, or the people who are controlling things will decide. Also, the expression "salt of the earth."
Oh yeah,
nice. Salt of the earth was popularized by the King James Bible.
Yeah, biblical.
Yeah. And these are phrases that weren't necessarily in the other versions.
Oh, what is like the meaning of that expression?
Because salt. That's a really good question. So, it's from the New Testament. It's from Matthew 5:13. And it was from the Sermon on the Mount. Jesus tells his followers that you are the salt of the earth.
Yeah.
And so what he's saying is that you are like the chosen people. You are, you have, because remember the word salary comes from salt, right?
Yeah.
So in the ancient world, salt was highly valued for its preserving, purifying, and flavoring properties.
Oh, right, because
it was so hard to get it out of the earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that wild?
Yeah.
So in the ancient world, salt was super duper valuable. It was also like you needed it because it helped you live, but also it preserved food, it purified things.
Right. I forgot that before it was more rare.
Yeah, and now it's just so common that we don't think of it as being special when it really is. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael.
I'm not salt of the earth. I'm just salty. Listen, I worked a job, and I remember someone saying like, "Oh, you're a bit salty today," and I was like, "What does that mean?" And I was like, "I remember the first time I learned that."
I haven't heard that word in so long.
It's maybe it's not as commonly used, but it's like a way of saying you're kind of sassy. You've got like some attitude, you know. So I love it. I think it's great.
Yeah, thank you for reminding me that word, Michael McSilvers.
Yeah, but today the idiom has evolved to describe people who are humble, honest, hardworking, and fundamentally good without any pretense or airs. And the word airs is another thing. It's like airs of pretension. Like, I think even in Spanish, like tiene un aire de. Aires de, Yeah. So it's very interesting stuff.
Yeah, and how it translates to other languages as well, right?
Yeah, and another phrase that the King James Bible popularized was like fighting the good fight. Oh yeah. So fighting the good fight. And it comes from the Bible, specifically from the New Testament. The Apostle Paul writes his famous exhortation to his younger protege Timothy in 1 Timothy 6:12, urging him to fight the good fight of faith. So it's like of faith.
Yeah, like not necessarily. Because
it's not physically fighting.
Right. Because it says that we are not the ones who fight, but God is, right? I think so. Right.
So Paul uses similar language in 2 Timothy 4:7, reflecting on his own life's end by stating, "I have fought a good fight, and I have finished my course. I have kept the faith." Yeah. But it goes all the way back to Greco-Roman times. But in English, the way it was like, it became an idiom through the King James Bible. But these are old expressions. Thank you, Michael McSilvers.
Thank you again. Yeah.
Seriously, amazing. You guys are freaking awesome.
Yes.
And this is also like fun stuff from Mario, because it's like vague stuff that people even in English might not know. Right. So the next one is by the skin of your teeth. By the skin of your teeth, which is but kind of a bizarre expression because it doesn't really make sense because you don't have skin on your teeth.
Right.
But it comes directly from the book of Job.
Job. Which is
I talk about Job of more often than you might think,
it's like a very important book, right? Like
it is.
The Bible.
Yeah, it's from the book of Job and the Old Testament. And the story, Job is put through extreme suffering, losing his family, wealth, his health. He loses everything.
Yeah.
And in the King James Version, Job laments his severe emaciation, saying, "My bone cleaveth to my teeth, to my skin, to my flesh, and I am escaped with the skin of my teeth." So the phrase first appeared in the Geneva Bible, and it said, "I've escaped with the skin of my teeth." But the expression, the latest iteration of it, which is this "by the skin of your teeth," was in the King James Bible. And because teeth didn't actually have skin, the idiom is meant to describe a situation where someone has only barely managed to escape a disaster and achieve something by the narrowest of margins. It's like that. It's like the phrase, like, "by the hair of my chinny chin chin." Have you heard that?
Yeah.
It's very similar to that. It's like you barely got away.
Yes, like por un pelo, like
yeah, exactly. Like you barely escaped disaster. It's pouring down rain, by the way, outside.
Yes, it's raining.
And then another one is, and this is probably people only of a certain age will even appreciate some of this, but this is a thorn in the flesh. A thorn in the flesh was also popularized by, again, the Bible, but not just any Bible, but the King James Bible. So the phrase "a thorn in the flesh" originates from the New Testament. The Apostle Paul used it in the second epistle of Corinthians to describe a painful, persistent annoyance or affliction. So Paul wrote that the thorn was given to him to keep him from becoming too prideful after experiencing profound heavenly visions, and he described it as a messenger of Satan to harass him. He pleaded with God to remove it, but he was told, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." Throughout history, theologians and scholars have debated exactly what Paul's thorn was. While the text doesn't specify, the most popular theories include that it may have been like a disability or a physical illness. But these are terms like that pop up with people who are well learned, you might say.
Yeah.
But there's a metaphor for a stinging thorn or a splinter. It's rooted in the Old Testament, where Israelites were warned that if they did not drive out the hostile inhabitants of the land, those remaining people would become like thorns in their sides or splinters in their eyes. So it's kind of reminds you of the kind of the Machiavellian thing too, where it's like, if you're going to take out your enemy, take out all of them.
Oh yeah.
Don't leave anybody, because they're going to come back and get you.
Yeah, like that type of thing.
Yeah. So like if Shakespeare gave English its theatrical muscles, then the King James Bible gave it its thunder. Gave it its real like impactful language that felt very that we still use today. So there was a dramatic theater voice, which is what Shakespeare brought to the table, and then the King James Bible brought this dramatic religious tone to the language. And then, so the first dictionary, which I think we just have to fully cover it. So do you remember the year that the first English dictionary came out?
17. I forgot. This is
1755.
55.
Yeah. Y'all are hilarious in the chat. It's raining so hard, it's wild. But so 1755, it's widely regarded as one of the most famous books in the English language. But Samuel John is the person. He's the guy who first created the English dictionary. Let me see if I have anything interesting. But that's the first time that it was shared. So we're going to move over to why Shakespeare still works today. Like why are we still exploring Shakespeare?
Yeah.
Like why did someone just win an Oscar for playing a character in Shakespeare's life?
Yeah.
Like that's really interesting.
Yeah.
And a lot of people say that people in the arts love movies and art about the art itself, which I think is true. But also like these plays like embody key emotions.
And I think universal emotions as well, which is what he achieved by his plays and his tragedies and everything.
Absolutely.
Because I think he had the ability to portray like very, like I said, universal emotions through particular stories. For example, like the tragedy of Romeo and Juliet, right? Like,
right.
That's still kind of like very, very referenced, because I think we all have like some sort of forbidden love, perhaps, or some sort of tragedy in life.
What do you think is the message of Othello? I'd be curious if the chat knows. Like, what is the key like human emotion that Othello is exploring?
Isn't that the one about, because Hamlet is the one about envy, right? And then
yes.
For Othello,
what's the adjacent thing to envy? It's even like worse. So envy is what you want, what someone else has, right? What's like the dirtier version of that? Starts with a J.
Greediness. No.
Jealousy.
Like
jealousy is like, and people you still say that like jealousy is the thief of peace. Like you can have everything that you really need, but if you're jealous, you'll never rest.
Fully,
you'll never be at peace.
Yeah.
But Othello explores jealousy. And so those images that you just saw, those are the historical depictions. And there are many depictions, right? There's not one depiction.
Oh, nice.
Macbeth has been portrayed throughout history again and again, but Macbeth is exploring ambition. Macbeth.
Okay.
So here's some of the images from Macbeth.
Yeah.
Now, have you ever seen a depiction? Because we're constantly revisiting Shakespeare in film and on the stage. But have you seen Macbeth?
No. I actually haven't seen like many Shakespearean plays. I think I've only seen like recreations of Romeo and Juliet and some other of his comedies, but that.
And people are afraid to even say Macbeth on the stage, right?
Yeah, but that we're more like adapted to a modern version of it.
Yeah, this is a famous iteration. Although this lady Ellen Terry, this is an oil painting from John Singer Sargent. So in terms of like art, this is a really famous depiction of Lady Macbeth from 1889. It's a famous performance, and so this is actually an actress that he painted, but she's portraying it.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I think I've seen her. I mean, yeah.
And then Hamlet. Hamlet is actually, it's not about jealousy, but it's actually about indecision. That's what Hamlet is.
Right. Yeah, because he essentially does nothing throughout the whole play.
Yeah. So it's like there's a lot of danger, and it's kind of. I mean, you've heard me say like in some occasions, like you're damned if you do, damned if you don't.
All right.
And that's definitely probably what the affliction is for Hamlet. It's like you're plagued by indecision. Like indecision can be your downfall.
Yeah, I remember.
Now we're getting into like the key themes here beyond just language itself.
Yeah.
Michael says Macbeth is creepy, and I love it. I love it. Yeah. So these are some depictions of. This is a photograph of an actor who's acting around 1870. This is the castle that's immortalized inside of Hamlet. Here's Horatio, Hamlet, and the Ghost.
Okay. Yeah.
Is this a 1789 painting? And then Hamlet, he mistakenly stabs Polonius. The gravedigger scene from Eugene Delacroix. So this is a famous depiction of Hamlet. So it's portrayed in art again and again and again.
Yeah, like different versions of it as well. And
this is actually like Drew Barrymore's like great grandfather. So this is John Barrymore. So John Barrymore is an actor who was in Hamlet in 1922.
That's very interesting.
But if you look, like Drew Barrymore is like his like granddaughter or great granddaughter, something wild like that.
That's wild.
So people don't realize that she's like a Hollywood royalty.
Yeah, like the lineage of artistry.
Yeah, it's like the OG Nepo baby. And then I think Romeo and Juliet is the most known.
Yeah.
Now, I think people who love Shakespeare, they might know Midsummer Night's Dream more, like if they're big into it. But Romeo and Juliet, just the story is much more famous.
Yeah. And it's been much more like readapted and
absolutely
reinterpreted.
So it was originally the tragedy of Romeo and Juliet, and then it was just shortened to Romeo and Juliet. And there are just so many depictions of this.
Yeah.
Like throughout history, so many different paintings. It's kind of like Helen of Troy, like the face that launched 1,000 ships. This helped to launch so many creative endeavors.
Right.
So many different versions of whether it be the retelling of it. Like West Side Story is a retelling.
Thank you, Mark Sands. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark Sands. I'm going to try to make you perform it. The world is a stage, and we are but players in it, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. Mark Sands, I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, it's true. It reminds me of that Kesha song where she's like, she's like, I feel all the wave of all of human ambition, like come over me, Yeah. And it's like, and what does it amount to?
Yeah. And
these are big questions.
Because we quoted Shakespeare as well, right? Like on a daily basis.
Almost. Like the best made plans of mice and men.
Yeah, like to be or not to be, or
absolutely. That's the question. This is probably the first ever woman to play Juliet professionally, and it was Mary Saunderson. So there's a painting of her.
Yeah.
So I know it's a little bit delayed for you.
Yeah.
But they're still performing it.
Nice. Oh, I see her now. Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
And so that's exploring themes of loyalty to your family and young love, and again, these are their key premises there's a key premise to each of his plays. Yeah. And so I think the key premise to Romeo and Juliet is that like love conquers death, even though like you might end in death, but it's like love is like the more powerful.
Yeah.
But again, it's like there are consequences.
Beyond it, right? Like, but yeah,
it goes beyond death. That's a better way to put that.
But yeah, it's true that it also like shows the consequences of rivalry, for example. Like loyalty, like your parents' advice and everything.
And I think Shakespeare was probably like many of his contemporaries like looked to the Roman Empire for inspiration, because one of his most famous plays is Julius Caesar.
Yeah.
And Julius Caesar explores the theme of just power itself and like what comes with that. And remember in the plays it's like et tu brute, it's like you too, Brutus, like even you.
Yeah.
So exploring betrayal as well. But Julius Caesar was already a famous historical figure, but it took someone like Shakespeare to make them famous like in their native language.
Yeah.
So, and again, this is the beginning of modern English, early modern English, even though it still sounds very foreign to us. If you read it, if you have mastered English, you're likely to understand what it is that you're looking at.
Yeah.
Whereas like, if it's like old English, you're like, you don't know what it is, unless you
it's harder to
are a real expert.
You're hearing or looking at.
All right. And then King Lear, can you guess what the themes are there?
I guess loyalty. I'm just guessing, but
yeah, it's about aging and betrayal, but loyalty is in there as well. Like King Lear is a lot of people. People love to do Romeo and Juliet or Hamlet, but King Lear is up there as well. And
betrayal, you got it, Marxians.
Absolutely. And I encourage people to go back and watch videos that break some of these plays down and to understand the themes. Because I think if you just opened up a book, things might fly over your head. Because I think people are having difficulty reading anything these days, much less something that's written in like a former version of English, or the earliest iteration of modern English. But Shakespeare has inspired so much artwork. So that's why there's so many different visual things. Here's a version that went on to Prime, and it has Anthony Hopkins, has Emma Thompson. So probably worth giving it a look.
Right.
And then one more play from him is most of his comedies, I'll just say in general, were about gender disguise, like mistaken identity, and they had a lot of fun with that. Which is, we still do that to this day, like the mistaken identity or gender swapping. But language survives because emotions survive, and he found a way to put emotions into these plays, like Romeo and Juliet, where they feel so timeless and they're adapted across cultures. And the reason why we're looking at Shakespeare too is because we're living in a time of shrinking attention spans. So, and then like a general loss of literary education. So people might be embarrassed by how difficult it actually is to read Shakespeare, but it's worth giving it a shot. And I think someone mentioned Folger's edition of, what was that? Was that from Shakespeare?
Yeah, I think, With
footnotes that help explain what the heck am I looking at here?
Yeah, and I mean, you can also have like a secondary reading of another material.
Absolutely.
Just so it helps you, you understand the.
And they move slower too. Like Old English, not the original Old English, but older versions of English. They can help you kind of train your brain to think on a deeper level, because some of the language is more like the consequence of your thoughts is like baked into the way it's written. Whereas now a language is much more disposable. Like language at the time was much more like consequential. Just like one line, like thou dost protest too much. It's like that's saying so much and so little.
Like the economics of language, or
well, when language gets smaller, like thoughts get smaller too.
Exactly.
So it's like our thoughts aren't as deep as they used to be.
Or because you cannot even articulate them if you don't have the tools.
And we're not anti-slang or anything like that. I think slang can be fun. But the problem with slang is that it can be dangerous because everything's like, okay, bet, or just like you're cooked, or you know what I mean? It's
more reductive.
It's so reductive to the point where it can be used to control you because you no longer have an ability to elaborate beyond whatever your generation has been taught to say. So in a way, it's like they're weaponizing what's coming out of your own mouth against you. Because when it's time to fight the resistance, you don't even have the words to gather your forces, because you're just exactly. Everything is one word. It's like we need to fight the resistance. Bet. It's like, well, what's our cause? Bet. Let's go. Okay, yes, like they can be fun words, and there's nothing inherently bad about them, but if we don't have a way to articulate around that, and to expand beyond it, then you're just like speaking in like memes. And so Shakespeare is like the ultimate, like, not a meme, but so powerful. There are memes of it, but it's not a meme in and of itself. So a healthy language has Shakespeare and memes. And the crisis only is whenever the only thing we have are memes. And this is our final core idea, is like we're hopeful for the English language. But I would recommend reading Shakespeare aloud. Don't like silently suffer through it. Try to read it with a friend. And the reason why is because when you read it out loud, it can also just be funny too, because you're not making fun of it as much as like realizing how much the language has evolved, and how, if it evolved that fast, imagine how much faster it's evolving now with the internet.
Oh yeah.
So like watching performances of it, like that movie I just showed, like not just the printed, interpretations.
Yeah, because it's interesting that you can also find like Shakespeare in every art form, right? Like paintings, movies, theater, obviously, music, everywhere.
Yeah, a lot of people say start with Macbeth, Julius Caesar, A Midsummer Night's Dream, or Romeo and Juliet. Those are like the because there's like a difficulty that's already there. And performing Shakespeare is its own thing. I remember like back in my early days of my career, like there was a lot more Shakespeare going on. So a lot of actors were coming to me saying, I'm classically trained in the Shakespearean tradition. Whereas now I never hear that. Isn't that wild? Like in a span of just a few years, it went from I would hear it on a weekly basis to never hearing it, because it would almost sound maybe goofy to say that. But people like Anthony Hopkins and Emma Thompson and Hugh Grant and some of these other actors have been classically trained, or even Meryl Streep, right? They were in these plays. But Shakespeare mattered not just because he was old, or not because the teachers forced him on us, but because it educated people on what our core values are as a society, and like the consequence of our actions or our inaction, like in the case of of what was it,
Hamlet,
of Hamlet, and then aging in King Lear.
Like one of my professors in college used to say that he basically wrote every story, like every possible story, right?
Absolutely.
And so I think that what he was trying to say is that his stories are so universal, like they are so touching every aspect of humanity.
I think that was his goal, was to tell all the stories.
That maybe you can also trace everything back to Shakespeare, right? Like the idea of, every possible consequence of the human behavior can be traced back to him. And I don't know how he achieved that, but I think maybe that was his goal, like his ultimate goal.
Yeah, he accomplished a lot in his lifespan.
And approaching him, as you said, we shouldn't be afraid of approaching him, because the plays aren't also super long, right? Because they are ultimately like meant to be played. So it's not like it's gonna take you forever to read them. So it's also just a matter of having maybe some other type of resource in order for you to better understand it. But that's pretty much it. And do your own research as well, like see the adaptations, the movies, the plays. And I think that's helpful for
I think Shakespeare isn't inherently intimidating, even for people who know it. And I think Shakespeare, it's like a language in and of itself. It's like if you don't speak a language for a while, you might feel a bit anxious or self-conscious about revisiting it.
Maybe,
And even me, I'm like, oh yeah, like I remember how important Shakespeare was. And so I was like, why is it that I don't think we've lost our reverence for it, because someone just won an Academy Award for interpreting, Shakespeare's, wife or lover. But I think the bigger question is like, do we understand what's in the text itself?
Which is ultimately the thing, right? Like the source material.
Because he influenced the way we speak, but also like what we speak about. And it reminds us that English is still like bigger than like just like a feed, because I think now we're also just speaking in like short form video formats. Like we're not speaking in larger contextual ways.
I think, you said it right, like we use buzzwords and everything just to sound kind of like we're trying to say something, but if we really listen to us, it's sometimes like we don't even speak anymore.
Well, right. And I was telling you, like I was at the gym and I'm like listening, and I'm like trying to like anyone say anything, and nobody was saying anything, and it really kind of scared me. So I was thinking, what is the thing? And it goes back to the original question, which is it's from Hamlet, to be or not to be. And that's the opening line of Hamlet's soliloquy about life and death. And then I'm going to go through and we're going to end, and I'm going to give you some phrases that are from his plays. So in my mind's eye, that's from that's a referring one that's in his plays. And that means like in my mind's eye, it's like what my imagination sees.
Yeah.
So in my mind's eye, like I see blank.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like your imagination is like what you have in mind. It says cruel to be kind. So doing something harsh now prevents the greater future harm. So it's actually cruel to be too kind to someone.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, let's say it's kind of like, do I look good in this dress? And you're like, oh girl, you look great. And it's like, no, it's better to be honest now, because it's cruel to be so kind to the point that you're actually doing more harm in the long term. That's actually a Shakespearean line.
Yeah, right. Like,
cruel to be kind.
Yeah. I really, like
Mark Sands, we're gonna get that. I'm gonna order that for them.
It makes me think of,
because we're gonna get into these. Yeah. Listen, we're a new channel, so if you guys are new, we're gonna get better and better at exploring these topics.
Yeah.
But this will be a great set piece to have Folger's edition.
Yeah.
So the lady doth protest too much. We know that one. And then if it's you, it's thou doth protest too much. So suggesting someone does denial is so intense it implies guilt. And then he also coined the phrase method in the madness. Like there's a method in my madness. Like today we were rearranging some things and I was like, there's a method to my madness, guys. Like there's some logic to it. Even so, it's like having a rational plan behind a seemingly crazy behavior. And I think Shakespeare really did understand that, because I think Shakespeare was probably zany on some level himself. And again, he came up with that term, zany.
Zany, okay.
Very good, Gizmo. That's a good one too. Arose by any other name. So that's from Romeo and Juliet, because he's like, Juliet. It's like arose by any other name would smell as sweet. So the essence of something matters more than its label.
Yeah.
Right. So we call it a rose, but if it was called goop, it would still smell like a rose. So he was just addressing that the language itself is that's how we think. We think in letters but if you took away the name, a rose is still a rose, even if you called it any other name.
Right.
And then and this is also in Taylor Swift songs, but star-crossed lovers.
Yeah.
So two people whose relationship is thwarted by outside forces or fate. And then obviously the wild goose chase. So those three are just from Romeo and Juliet: a rose by any of the names, star-crossed lovers, and a wild goose chase.
Wow. Yeah.
Macbeth, they have a charmed life. The expression something being charmed, like a life that seems magical, protected from harm or misfortune. Like a king or queen might have a charmed life. The milk of human kindness. This one is probably less common, but it's human compassion or sympathy for others.
Okay.
And then what's done is done is a Shakespeareanism, a Shakespearean phrase. It's like, it's kind of like whatever will be, will be.
Yeah.
The same for the past. Like what's done is done. So an event that has happened can't be altered or undone. It's done.
Which is more true in a way.
Yeah.
than what will be, will be. Yeah.
I think so. I think they're both valid.
Yeah.
Because sometimes reframing the past can be more powerful than, because there's only so much you can control.
Right.
All that glitters is not gold. It's from The Merchant of Venice.
Yeah.
It means outer appearances can be highly deceptive. You see that with people that are walking around with like a bunch of fancy stuff. It's like that they may not have what they pretend to have. Yeah. Or also it's like something may look valuable on its surface, but it may not be.
Yeah.
And then the expression, have you heard of someone say like, I'll wait with bated breath?
No.
It's waiting in a state of high anxiety, suspense, or anticipation. So it's like you're almost like you're holding your breath. That's a Shakespeare phrase, with bated breath. Nice. And that's from The Merchant of Venice. And then there's some more famous plays, like A Brave New World. In The Tempest, he mentions A Brave New World, and that became later the Tempest eventually what became The Brave New World. That's a whole video on it in of itself. But talking about societal change and being used ironically to imply a dystopian future control. So if you look up, we have to do a whole new video, have to do an entire video on A Brave New World. Yeah. I could have 1,000 visuals and videos for that.
Nice. Yeah.
But it's very similar to what I talked about with Napoleon of Notting Hill. But A Brave New World is even more dystopian. All right. Do you guys have any comments on Shakespeare? Leave your comments before we head out.
Mark Sands, what's your favorite?
What's your favorite Shakespeare? I want to say Shakespearean, but you can just say Shakespeare play.
Shakespeare, play.
Yeah. So And in chat, did you guys learn anything new about Shakespeare? I'd be curious to know.
I did pretty much like the origin of some words, you know, like the meaning behind some plays, and just like the idea of someone being so influential is really like, wow.
Like the word swagger. I mean, there's certain words that survived over 400 years.
Yeah. And now I think now the words that are being, for example, included into the dictionaries are more questionable, you know, quote unquote. Maybe it's
me
just
too,
me,
David Young. I feel the same way.
Maybe it's just
almost
me,
a weird feeling, David. But we had to try it without Jimmy first. I feel bad without Jimmy pranking you. I 100% know that now. I'm like, because I was like, oh no, it's like it's a great aspect. But I learned a lot. I think here's a question: would you rather read Shakespeare or watch it performed? I'll be honest. I'd rather watch it be performed personally.
I mean,
because I think it's so interesting just to see people's interpretation of it.
Yeah, I think so too. But obviously, I would enjoy reading. I mean, I've enjoyed reading it too.
So they mentioned The Taming of the Shrew, which is also a famous comedy written by William Shakespeare. And that one is about a mischievous nobleman. He plays a prank on a drunken beggar named Christopher. He tricks, his name is Christopher Sly, but he tricks Sly into believing he is actually a wealthy lord and arranges for a traveling troupe to perform and play for him. And the main story is that performance that's inside of it. But it's The Taming of the Shrew. But that's a very famous comedy.
Nice. Thank you, Mark Sands, for letting us know.
Yep.
I'll have to check that out.
All right, well, this is our first live without Jimmy, guys. So I was like, we gotta do it. Even though I'm like in mourning, I'm in a, you know, if I were, I'd have my little black veil, you know, because I understand how much we love our children. You know what I mean? Like how, like they're so full of life, and the level of unexpected energy and like childlike wonder. Oh, yeah, that's exactly what I'm looking for. Childlike wonder. Absolutely. Well, we're gonna go perfecting our format. So I appreciate you guys being here. This wasn't a Liz Taylor movie. There was in The Taming of the Shrew from 1967. There was an Elizabeth Taylor, and also Richard Burton's in that movie with her from 1967. And also, did you ever watch 10 Things I Hate About You?
Yeah.
That's a retelling of The Taming of the Shrew.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So that's from 1999, but it's a teen comedy adaptation set in American high school with Julia Stiles and Heath Ledger. Wow. But that's actually The Taming of the Shrew. It just shows you how Shakespeare is just being retold constantly. Yeah. And in modern terms and everything, it's just, it's wild. Kiss Me, Kate. Kiss Me, Kate is also a classic Broadway musical centered around the original story of The Taming of the Shrew. Yes, Toph, that's a line from I hate the way you make me laugh. I hate the way I don't hate you at all. You know, at the end, the poem that she reads, it's really powerful. It's a really beautiful movie. If you haven't seen 10 Things I Hate About You, I highly recommend it. Yeah. Here, I'll pull the picture before we go, and then we'll head out. If you guys would like to leave a super chat, please do so. It helps us out a ton. Yeah. But here's 10 Things I Hate About You. This is Julia Stiles, and this is Heath Ledger. So this is, and it's got some flowery language in here. That's very Shakespearean, but it's really beautiful. Thank you, Mark Sands. You were so kind. Thank you, Mark Sands. And Mark Sands, and also like I was telling Mario too, I was like, gosh, our audience was so used to having Jimmy here. I was like, that's because like we need a third person to do the switchboard, you know. Yeah. But I was like, we gotta try it out and be vulnerable and put ourselves out there. And also this is like learning. So thank you, Mark Sands. I appreciate you so much for helping. I appreciate it so much. And you guys, it pays to be a member too, because all of our content, all of the lives, especially as we're going and perfecting the format, they're going to be behind a paywall. But you can watch them for free until the live is over. Then it goes behind a paywall. So it pays to be a member, because there's already dozens of videos on here. So. But thank you again, Mark Sands. Thank you, Mark Sands, truly. But 10 Things I Hate About You, you guys go check that movie out, because that's a new telling. I'm glad someone mentioned it, because I didn't mention Taming of the Shrew. But Shakespeare, all of his stuff is treated with a level of reverence. Yeah. It really is. Yeah. So it's like there's stuff I didn't even mention, and the chat's like, this one. So if you have any other chats, any other plays, let me know. Yes. And I'll pull it up. But otherwise, we're going to do the countdown. Mario, thank you for being here with and muscling through.
Oh my gosh, thank you for teaching me Shakespeare.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
it's. I mean, I honestly think like I forgot a little bit about the content of his plays, but now that I'm revisiting him, like I'm gonna deep dive again into his work, and you know, like I will appreciate it more because I actually have not read it in the original English, so I think it's also a chance for me to practice that as well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, listen, he obviously there's so many different Wikipedia pages, but there's an entire Wikipedia page just for his plays. Yeah. So there it ranges. They say 37 to 39, but this one says approximately 39. And it's the plays have been translated into every major living language on Earth, which not many people can say that.
Right.
So it talks about his style, the way he. And the way like Claude is kind of playing off a bit off of, you know, the way he writes. And obviously a haiku is like a Japanese, right? Like a Japanese poem. But a sonnet is like very Shakespearean, but he has comedies, histories, and tragedies.
Yeah.
And so, and some of them could be a mix of the different ones. But Shakespeare is worth revisiting, and also just to understand like what does it look like human greatness, and what you can achieve in a lifetime. It's very, very, very magical. So thank you guys for watching.
Thank you guys.
This is a painting called The Plays of Shakespeare. So this has different characters from all the different Shakespearean plays, which is pretty cool.
Oh yeah, I like that interpretation as well. It's pretty beautiful. Like
Toph, I agree. And Toph, the ad revenue, I'm less worried about that because since we're new. For example, we started and we didn't have audio. So I'd rather that be for like our core members, because I don't want people's first interaction to be like, oh, they scroll away because they didn't hear, you know, in the first, you know, couple of minutes. Because I'm over here going. And also it's like it's good practice for us to like learn, but I want to perfect the format a bit. But yeah, this is imagine being that famous. There's so much art created around your work. Wow.
Yeah.
Just wow.
No, it's crazy. Like I'm sure we are even influenced by it in ways we don't even like fully are conscious of. Like
absolutely. I mean, just there's so many phrases that we say that are from Shakespeare. We just don't know they're from Shakespeare.
Yeah, exactly. So.
Like thou doth protest too much, or you know, all the other isms that I mentioned. There's so many of them. Like a rose by any other name would smell as sweet.
Right.
So many. All right, we're gonna do the countdown. So 10.
Thank you guys.
Thank you guys so much.
9.
It seems a bit goofier without Jimmy. But
thank you guys.
Thank you guys so much.
If you can, please consider
subscribe, give the video a like.
Yes, give the video a like.
And we're getting better and better as we go. So thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I agree, Mark Sands. Absent does make the heart grow fonder. I agree, 100%.
Thank you guys.
Bye, guys. We love you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Mark Sands. Thank you, Michael McSilvers. You guys are heroes. I appreciate you so much.
Thank you, Gizmo.
Thank you, Gizmo. Thank you, John Scott.
Good night, John Scott.
You guys have a good night. Remember to love yourself.
Enjoy your nights. Yeah.
Go watch the Shakespearean play.
Yes.
Go see how deep it is. You're like, dang, that's deep. Like we need deep content. It's worth going deep. It's deep. It can be painful, but it's better to. It's like that expression: "It's better to have loved and lost than to have never loved at all."
It is very true.
It's better to learn and have a full, rich life than to never learn anything. You know.
Yeah.
Because there's so much to learn on a day-to-day basis. It's wild how much we have at our fingertips, and we have to just explore it and interact with the material.
Yes. Very, very true. Thank you, Kiss of Life.
Bye, guys.
Thank you, everyone.
Y'all become a member on the channel. Yes, you can become an adventurer.
You can be members on this channel as well.
That's right. So it's our second day of being monetized. It's pretty wild.
Yes, guys. So thank you for making that happen as well.
Thank you. It's right. John Scott, you've done both. That's right. Thank you. Bye, guys. Bye.